Hey guys, so I'm going to try to keep this video as short as possible. Basically, I wanted to make sure my borderline and I were done for good. I was dating her for about 6 months, and we broke up a couple of times, but this time it's done for good. So I wanted to shoot this last video. Basically, anybody who's dated a borderline knows how intense it is at the beginning, knows like it's a honeymoon phase times 10. I guess I'm not going to get into all that. Everyone who knows a borderline knows how intensely they love at the beginning. And how I don't care how strong of a man you are, because at the time I was just looking to have fun. I was not looking to date. I don't care how strong of a man you are. Most people are going to fall down that rabbit hole because it's just so alluring. Um, Once the breakup started coming and the constant phone calls and why aren't you answering? Did you block me and stuff like that? It was kind of easier for me to step back a little bit. But then after that came the second barrage of, oh, you're the best thing in the world. We should get married. I wish I had kids, all my kids with you. So I was like, okay. I fell back down the rabbit hole again. During, I guess, two of our breakups, it was kind of my fault. Meaning, I have a bad personality, a trait, I guess you would call it, where I always, I wouldn't say always, a lot of times I don't think about what I say before I say it, and it can offend people. And they're jokes. It's not like I'm saying something serious. Like I'm always smiling and laughing or joking when I say these things, but it's a habit, something I've been doing since I was a kid. I know where it comes from, and I've been working on stopping it. So I told her when I met her, listen, this is one really bad trait I have. I'm working on it. I'm pretty much good with it now. I said, but a lot of times I'm quiet, and if you find me in like a quiet phase, and you know why is he all of a sudden got quiet? It's because I had to sit back and think about the things I'm thinking and things I'm saying. Would that possibly hurt somebody else? All right. Now, this is not a major deal with everybody. Some people, the things I say doesn't bother them at all, but there's, when you're in a relationship, some of the things I say, you can't say to your girlfriend. You can say to your boys, but you can't say to your girlfriend. Anyway, I told her that was my bad trait, so there were times that I did say something where where I knew I triggered her. I apologize for those 2 times. We got back together. But every other time it was her calling me, trying to get back, because she was breaking up for little things, little reasons, and would call me, oh, I can't be without you, all this stuff. Anyway, finally, we get to, all these breakups are over. Finally, we said, we're going to go get, I told her, I said, listen, we're going to get counseling if we're going to get back together. She agreed, thought it was a great idea. 2 weeks, we were scheduling counseling. She canceled within the first 2 weeks because she had to work, which I believed her at the time. Then she canceled again and said, you know what, she didn't think she needed counseling. That same day, it was the next day, is when she canceled hanging out with me. We were supposed to go out, hang out. And that was like the 3rd time she had canceled in a row because she had to work or something with her kids. And I was like, listen, I'm not going to sit around and wait while you keep changing the plans without letting me know. In the last minute, I realized I have nothing to do on a Friday night. And that turned into a whole argument for some reason on her part. Instead of just saying, yeah, you're right, I'm sorry, next time I'll let you know earlier, attacked me, put full attack mode on every little thing that I did in the last 6 months. I couldn't believe the things that were coming out. And it's like she must have had a piece of paper just boom, boom, boom in a row of everything that I possibly did, and half of it was more than half was exaggerated. At that point, I was like, I had to walk away. I was like, she sent me a text, take care. I was like, all right, you too, thanks. What I did during that time is I reached out for counseling for myself and started doing a lot of researching on borderline. I wasn't say quick conclusion, but it was a conclusion after about 2 weeks. I came up with, let me try to see if everything I'm reading is really true. Let me call to see if this is all just in her head, if this is just some made up fairy tale, is there a human being inside this person, a rational human being inside this person. I got all my research, got all my stuff together. I knew exactly what I was going to say, but I didn't call her. What I did is I sent her some flowers and shot her a quick video to ask her how she was. Now, you would say, why would I send a video instead of calling, whatever? It's easier for me to get my point across. Anybody who's dated a borderline knows it's best to maybe text something, or even a video is perfect, because you're not going to be able to finish everything you're going to say. Because as soon as one trigger goes off, you're done with your conversation. So anyway, she called me back. We talked for about an hour and a half. And long story short, the next day, she wasn't sure yet. Next day she called me and said, listen, we should just have a clean split. When you left, I thought it was for good. And I said, no, I told her I had to work because she canceled the counseling and kept canceling hanging out. I had to go do this on my own. It would have been better for us to both go together. But I said, let me go in this counseling and see what's going on. So I thought I had a plan. And I said to myself, I'm going to say everything. I'm really good. I'm not saying like tricking and lying, because nothing I said was a lie, but I'm really good with psychology, meaning I can say everything that I know I have to say, that if there's some human being inside of there, they're gonna see this and react to it. So, and I didn't have this planned out really because I didn't know she was going to call back. I thought maybe she might just send a text or whatever, because it wasn't like me. The video wasn't about me trying to get back, where it was just a friendly hello and letting her know why I had to eventually, walk away, but that I hadn't walked away for good. I just had to work up some things. Long story short, she said she wouldn't have nothing to do it anymore. She went black on me. This is the second conversation. The first conversation, we just talked. She had to think about it. She called me out of the blue and once again ran down that whole list. And the list got longer, and I was like, where are these things coming from? Like, I remember like 2 or 3 of the things. Then they were kind of close to what she was saying, but the other stuff was just exaggerated and made up. So at the end of that conversation, we didn't get to the end of the conversation. I just hung up the phone. So this video is just to say that I didn't know the warning signs ahead of time, only because she told me she had this. I didn't look it up. The second I looked it up, everything made sense to me. As soon as you look it up, everything makes sense. Like, okay, this is what's going on. I didn't know. It just sounded like some crazy person, but there was a method to this craziness. The mistake I made was trying to think that I can fix it. And you read all the, and I didn't really, because I didn't do too much. After I finally found out what it was, I didn't do any deep research. I didn't do the deep research that I should have done. I just did, okay, she has a problem. Let's work on that problem together. Go back and go into counseling. But once I did this deep research, and that's why I said I reached out to her one more time just to see, because I wanted no contact. Like I said, 17 days, no contact. But I wanted to see if there was a piece of humanity, logic, common sense in her head. And when she reached back out and she went off on me, I was like, nah, it's just, there's nothing there. There was nothing there to begin with. It was a different person than the person I met. Now, mind you, you see this happening. This is not something you just all of a sudden you wake up one day and boom. You see the signs. There's warning signs. There's red flags all over the place. So this video is to anybody who's thinking about trying to make it work with someone with borderline personality disorder. I told you, she was going to go to counseling. All these things, but it just never worked. And you can't do it by yourself. And she was in therapy for 5 years. So she wasn't the violent person. She stopped cutting herself, but she still had enough of the traits. And even for the traits, to me, it's bad enough to say you can't work with it. But the reason I said, let me give it a shot, is because she didn't have the violent trait, and she didn't have the real abusive trait. She might have ran her mouth, but she didn't. Obviously, I'm not the type of person who would take abuse anyway. And she knew that wouldn't work, so she wasn't violent or abusive towards me verbally. But it was just the craziness. Why aren't you answering the phone? Is it blocked or this and that? And you don't love me, and you're gonna all this crazy stuff. So the triggers are there. The signs are there, guys. Do your research. If you see any of these signs, and I'm not going to go through them all. You can go watch another video because it'll be too long. But if you see any of these signs, please do a ton of research. Do not try to jump in there and try to help them. I did, only because I didn't realize what was going on until towards the end, and I already grown sort of an attachment to the person. But do research all over, not just YouTube videos. Research on the internet, and I found a lot more good advice on the internet where people are actually writing about their stories. It's all the same. They're all the same type of people, even though they're, maybe individual, but it's the same type of, and I want to say they're people, I guess. It's just a whole nother entity, a whole nother race when it comes to people that have borderline. And there's nothing wrong. Like I said, I cared enough to try to help the person, but you just can't help them. And before I keep rambling on, because like I said, that's all I really wanted to say. Do your research. I'm going to say that for the 10th time. And good luck to anybody. If you have a successful story, let me know. And also, if you have a story like mine, similar, let me know, because it is a living hell, and one that I finally got out of. But it's not easy. Even when you're out of that living hell, you still have to look back and think to yourself, how the hell did I get there so it won't happen again? All right, thanks for watching.